What I have in front of me today is a dash cam that I got from Fry's Electronics for about 20 bucks. To be honest, it is probably more than likely just a generic copy of that same dash cam design you see on Amazon 500,000 times over. But it was 20 bucks and something happened the day I bought it that I needed it. Now before I go any further, I have been using this dash cam for about 2 weeks now. This isn't really a true unboxing, more like a, hey, I found the package, let me put it back in there so I can have a decent intro to a video kind of thing. So, might as well open this thing back up for the millionth time. Now this right here is the dash cam itself. When you do get it, it does come with a stick-on, whatchamacallit, like a scenery, if you will. And that's about it. It's very lightweight, it feels pretty cheaply made, and it's your basic dash cam. It has a mini USB cable right here, and over here it uses a full-size SD card, which is something I do appreciate. In here I do have a micro SD card in a full-size SD card adapter, and it still works without any issues. This right here is your standard basic power button. It does have an internal battery up here, and this screen does move around. As for tech specs, I honestly don't think you're going to be buying a $20 dash cam to be super in the know, but I will read it out anyway. So it has a 2.5-inch swivel LCD screen, records in 720p video, 5 megapixel camera mode, a quarter CMOS HD image sensor. There's somebody who knows a lot more about cameras that can probably explain to you what that is. Night vision. Wait, hold on, let me do that again. Night vision. See, SD card slot supports up to 32 gigabytes, which is what I have in here. USB connection, automatic video recording when vehicle is started. Now, one thing I should mention, that automatic recording when a vehicle is started function only works as if your car cuts power to your cigarette lighter when it turns off. Now my car, my daily driver, a Nissan Leaf, when the car itself is turned off, there's no power going to the cigarette lighter. But the rest of the cars in our family, the Fords, have constant power going to the cigarette lighter. In that case, this camera would always be on. So you might need to hardwire something else. That's one thing to remember. Displays real time and date. Yep, that works. High speed recording, not so much. Cycled recording, yeah, that's true. Repeat storage by section. Power input is DC 5 volt. Makes sense. Rechargeable battery and built-in microphone. Now, inside, it does attach using this little suction cup mount right here. Not the best way to have a dash cam attached to your car, but not the worst either. The last dash cam I had was attached using a 3M pad, and when that one broke, I was no longer able to remove said 3M pad from my windshield without pulling the tint strip off. So I'm not a hater of this, but not a lover either. But it hasn't fallen off in the 2 weeks I've used it. It's always been there and never got in the car and had it sitting on the dashboard. Functionally speaking, this is a pretty good mount. And they also give you this tiny USB cable, which is not going to be used in your car, let's be realistic here, unless you have like a cigarette lighter on your dashboard. Maybe about 1.5 feet long. Actually, it's about 1 foot long in total. Now, being a dash cam, you're probably going to be more interested in what it records than how it looks. So I'm just going to plug this into my computer, download the footage I've had on here for the past 2 weeks, and let you take a look at it.
Now, these next few clips are going to focus on the actual performance of the camera itself. And one thing I'd really like to highlight in the beginning is it has a bit of a weird frame rate. You can see it jumps around a lot and it's not as consistent as one would expect. Also, this camera is definitely not recording in 720p, in case you were unable to notice that. This is at the 720p setting and it is not that. Now, under certain circumstances you can clearly see license plates, and it is useful, but there are other circumstances like you'll see later in the video where that's simply not the case. And also the performance of the camera does vary greatly between the times of day. Like here you can see you can barely see the license plate on this Nissan Frontier, both due to the chrome on the bumper and the different lighting situations from taillights, turn signals, and everything else. It's almost impossible to make out any license plates on any of the vehicles here. Except for maybe this Chrysler 300C right here. The camera has enough time to focus and give you a decent view. Now when it comes to the use of this dash cam, it's pretty good for a $20 dash cam. It comes in handy and it's better than not having anything. Now in this particular case you can clearly see that you can see the license plate, but in later nighttime shots like this one it's almost impossible to figure out what's going on. The images are so pixelated in low light situations that it makes it almost impossible to use, unless there's some evidence somewhere. But even grainy dash cam footage is better than no dash cam footage. This camera has a very narrow field of view, meaning you can only see, I would say, less than 100 degrees in front of you. Probably even less than that. Overall, for $20, I would say that this is definitely worth the money. Granted, there's probably some better dash cams you can get, but in terms of being able to get one at a big box retailer for a decent price that does an okay job, this checks the boxes. And if you're in a hurry to get one, this works. Now if you want to see any more videos like this, just click on the channel link or hit subscribe. If you like this video, hit like and do whatever else you do on the internet. Have a good one, guys.